Alright, hello once again, Jeff Scott of Rankin Technical College. And as part of the Rankin Technical College AWD, or Application and Website Development 1000 Web Development Technologies class, I've been building a website for a mythical gym from scratch. And I am on my first page, and the page is all laid out. I just have to come in and add the CSS. Okay, so this is about the 8th lesson, something like that. And if we look right now at what we've got, okay, I want the page to look like this. All right, and as you can see, I've got the top looking good, and I've got this second part to about right here, right above where it says what our clients are saying. So we've got that done. So the time has come now to come in here, and where it says what our clientele are saying and this stuff, I've got to fix this up. All right, so let's start on that. So I'll tell you what, I'll bring that up about here, and I'll take and bring that up to about, well, I guess I can't bring it up any higher than that. Okay, all right, so again, very CSS intensive lesson. This will say, for our testimonial area, that H1 that we had in there that said what our clientele are saying. I am always confused if should that be are saying or is saying, but that's fine. Let's give it a background color. Remember, we can say either background color or just the word background. This will be that kind of grayish or silverish color. B0, E0, E6. The color of the text will be our old familiar by now, midnight blue. Oh, I shouldn't. That's the light blue for the background. I apologize. That's not silver or gray. That's light blue for the background. The color is the midnight blue. The font size, I want this to be nice and big, about 40 pixels. So that's 2.5 rem. Margin, we'll have 1 rem of margin on the top. Nothing on the bottom. I'm sorry, nothing on the right, nothing on the bottom, nothing on the left. Now, that's totally fine to type it just like that. Whoops. Except I wouldn't put this in there. And that'll work just fine. Or I can come in and use, it's not a shortcut, but I can say margin top 1 rem and just leave the rest off. That might be a little cleaner right here to do that. All right, and text align center. Again, let's come in and do a file, save all. Go back to our page. And now notice, see that, what our clientele are saying. All right. Again, I like to show you a little bit of this, and do it like that. I think it makes more sense to anybody who's watching this. So, time to start working with our box. Remember, each one of those people is inside of an invisible box. So I want the position to be relative, and I'm not going to go into that right now, except I want to spell position right. I'm not going to go into that right now, but I'm trying to position things so they will basically line up, and all 3 of those people will be in the same area. All right, so I'm going to say to float left. The width will be 20 rem. Remember, that's 1/3. Padding top. Oops, so I want some top padding. How much? About 1.25 rem. And the background color, we'll take that from up here, where we grabbed our light blue. Oops. All right. There we go. Okay. Now we're going to have to do some more work, but I want to see if that's done anything right now. Okay, so look at what it's looking like now. All right, it's getting there. All right, this has got to become this. So there's a little bit of work to do, but it's already looking pretty decent. I'm not going to say great, but as you can see, it's getting there. So that was our box. And the next thing we're going to do is for our box, and box was a class because we're using it on 3 components. The image, I want to give that a border radius, border radius of 50%. Now, I'm putting more stuff here, but I want to show you what that did. Notice it made each image round. All right, and I kind of like that look. You didn't have to do that, but I kind of liked it. So I wanted that, no border, display block, and I want it centered. Margin 0 auto. It still isn't going to be perfect. So that was our box. This is our box image. But it's starting to get there. All right. Let's continue on. After our box image, I want our box paragraph. And we can also do our box H1 here. All right. So we'll apply these to both. We want the width to be 20 rem, the color to be our midnight blue. We want it to be aligned in the center, the text. Display inline block and no top margin. All right. Let's save all of it. Go back and take a look. You can see it's really starting to come together here. All right, again, not perfect. Still some work that's got to be done here. For instance, our H2 tags. They're not centered. They're the wrong color. So we'll work on that next. All right, and I don't like this either. This looks a little funky, but we'll take a look at, hopefully we can fix that in just a couple of minutes. So next we have our box H2, and that's the people's names. So again, we want the font size to be about 1.5 rem, the color to be our midnight blue, no bottom padding, and the text align to be centered. All right. That's pretty much there. Like I said, I got to fix that. Something's kind of weird about that, but we'll look at it in a minute. All right. Now, what you'll notice is this stuff right now is being pushed over to the left because what happened was we set all these things to float left. So what I want to do next, there's just a couple more things I want to do, and we're got plenty of time here. So I want to come back into here, and I want to put in something that's more generic. That is, I'm going to have something that's called clear fix, and I'm going to tell it to clear all my floats. So clear both. Okay? And the only other thing that I want to put in here is I want to put in my footer settings. Before I do that, though, I'm looking, and with this clear fix, this may get lost in everything that's in here. So I'm going to grab that. I am going to go up near the top where I have all my main stuff, not main header, but my global settings, and I'm going to put my clear fix in there. I just like that location better than where I had it. All right. So, my footer, not much. And I gave that a an ID of main dash footer. Let's give it a line height, so it spaces out a little bit. 1.8 rem. A font size, normally your footer is smaller, doesn't have to be. A 0.5 rem, so it'll only be about 8 pixels as far as the size. The color will be midnight blue. The text align will be centered. The background color, no, it won't be that light blue. It'll be that grayish or silver, whatever that is. And the font weight, let's bold it. All right, so hopefully this is going to look quite a bit different down here. All right, kind of hard to see, but it is now bolded and it is now the right color and it's smaller. All right, I've got to fix this. Like I said, the first page is virtually done except for this right here. I'm not sure what that's doing. That's the H1. And look right here, testimonials H1. Now I've got that margin top. I want there to be no margin bottom. What if I removed all margin? Might look worse, so I may have to change it back. Kind of like that. Now that's not the way I had it here, as you can see, but I kind of like the way it is here more. They do bleed into one another, so I could put a little bit of gap or something in there. All right. We could put some borders or something in here. Maybe I should be doing that. Something you may want to consider. But when you look at it now, I think the first page is finished. And it's looking pretty nice. Not fantastic, all right, but it's looking pretty nice. Okay, so what we're going to do next is I've gone through, and again, you may or may not like this, but I've made the second page kind of blah. So here's the About page. It's going to have the same top. Notice I've got Our Story, where I added about 4 or 5 or 6 paragraphs. Then a picture. I pulled all these pictures just off of Google Images or Pexels.com, but what's supposed to happen is this woman is supposed to be that woman. All right? So we will come through in our next set of lessons. We will be coming through and we will be building the About page. Then when we get done with that, we'll do the BMI, and that's going to actually get us into JavaScript. I'm going to do that about 3 different ways. And then the contact, which I'm going to do about 4 or 5 different ways. Then when we get done with all that, we're going to come back and try to make this responsive, because if you look right now, there is no responsiveness at all on this page. All right, that wasn't the idea behind what we've done thus far. So we'll come back and we'll add that. All right, so I'll be back to start on our second page, our About page, in just a few minutes.